you're like, damn, I banged the teacher.
Oh,
hell, praised for it, man.
Yeah,
bro.
praise. You'd be like a god. You'd be like
king
the female teacher. Obviously, she's gonna lose her job, probably get locked up. But the severity of the punishment that she's gonna get is not gonna be anywhere close to the male teacher being involved with a female
The way I
student.
look at it is, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her to be a lazy like home.
Damn,
That's bad. No. Like,
bro said I wouldn't want her to be a lazy homemaker.
nobody watched that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Now,
It's when my
Angel
NBA
Reese dunks.
no, the moment she learns how to do a layup.
Oh,
No, but like women's sports is just so new in general. All right, welcome back to the ChalkRoom podcast, episode 28. We're back alone.
yeah.
Our
It's a regular same standard schedule.
our guest canceled.
We had a guest lined up, but it's okay. Again, as I say last time, we got this.
She lost her one and only chance to be in on the ChalkRoom podcast.
No more.
There are no re-invites here.
no re-invites.
No, we give you one chance and one chance only.
If you don't show up, but if you have to reschedule, is that?
Not if you fucking cancel 20 minutes ahead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're done.
I feel you.
We try to boost your career, but
Apparently, you guys like having females on here.
Yep. Our last video got some views. But yeah, Kajal was fun. She was, I want to thank her for, having, I forgot to mention on that last episode that she was actually one of the ones that reached out because we had posted on Instagram, like, if we have any, females that are willing to come on the podcast. And she actually reached out to us. She was like, yeah, I'd be down, And I'm like, okay, what are you going to talk about? But then, as y'all can see, it was a good episode. It was fun. She said she'd be down to come on again. That's what she said. She's like once a month, I think. So we'll see. We'll see if y'all like her. Comment what should we tell them to comment? K K with the Indian
K
flag.
A curry plate emoji.
K with the plane. A plane. K with the plane. Yeah.
So speaking of women making history,
Yeah. Let's get into it, baby.
Blue Orchid. Y'all see Katy Perry go to space?
Yep.
Didn't she come out kissing the ground?
The ground, bro. Dude, that shit was for cameras, bro. She ain't not kissing the ground just herself, just because she wanted to, dog. Maybe she was thanking, for being back in planet Earth. But yeah, that whole thing was funny. Did y'all watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on TikTok and I scrolled through it and I saw like the live thing where they were going up. I was like, oh damn, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then it said Katy Perry's going to space.
It was Katy Perry. It was, I think, Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. I think. And then there was actually one on there that actually, I looked into her story. It was the Asian girl. She apparently was like in NASA. She was studying. She was like full on, like trying to become, like a full astronaut, like, go to space and everything. But then I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to get this wrong because it's actually like really important. She posted on her Instagram. I think she was raped. I don't know if you guys knew about this, but I saw it on her Instagram and that's how it led to it. But she was raped whenever she was getting into all this, which rape fucking is crazy. That shit even still happens. But she was raped, and then basically what she did is she had obviously going through something like that is crazy, but what she did is she started to fight for, against all that stuff, to basically go to the legislation and bring up laws that protect women against those kind of situations. So, and then that basically took her out for years. I think it was a couple, 8 to 10 years, something like that. And then she had the opportunity to go back up into space. So that was actually one that I think was pretty cool that she got.
So she deserved to be up there.
100% she deserved to be up there.
Not the other ones.
The other ones, fuck them, bro. They had the money. they pulled up with a $20 million check.
If I had the money, I'd go up too.
You would?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Shit.
That's one of my dreams, to go up in space.
How much did it cost?
And make sure that the Earth is actually a globe.
Well, I know that's
round and real.
What you were saying?
No, I just said, how much did it cost?
I think it's up there.
It was almost $1 million. I think it was like 800,000 or something like
that. That's it.
800 fucking thousand. Have you made that in your life?
My place. So my net worth put together. I got my PlayStation, my house,
I mean,
I think I'm at like 27,000.
but no, I would have thought it would have been like something more like crazier, like maybe a few millies or
a ticket up into that. Yeah,
I don't know. I think because it was the first one or something.
Especially with
Was
the
it the
tariffs going
first
around.
one?
Yeah,
they had already done it before.
no, it was
though.
the first one.
Like it was like a
For the
like
company,
public,
I think.
public
Yeah.
maybe.
It's the first one for all women.
Yep, that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Do you think that's a moment in history for women, at least?
I mean, women been in space before, so I don't know what.
But like private,
It's
private. Like
it's
somebody who was not an astronaut.
It's a moment in history for pop stars, I think.
What else
She's
have they
gonna come out with a
accomplished?
song. She's gonna come out with a song talking about space and shit.
She already did the one with Kanye.
Yeah, sing it live. How's it go?
Something about probing her or something like that.
Huh?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
People were saying that spaceship looked like a giant,
Candy corn.
he said candy corn.
She's gonna make a song saying I kissed the ground and I liked it.
I liked it. No, but yeah, people were actually saying like, all over social media, like they're trying to say that it's well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of one of them. I'm a little skeptical of it because I saw the video on YouTube. I saw like after, but like you can see, like the ship, like igniting the thing to go, the rocket and all that. But then there's like a small, like I don't know, it's like a millisecond in the video where it looks like it just becomes like like a video game. It looks fake. You're like, what the shit? This looks weird. They get up there, they flying around or whatever. But then when they land, there's and you can find it on TikTok everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Jeff Bezos was supposed to go and unlock the door, right? And then I think one of the ladies that was going up to the door to help him. I think she went up there first, and the door opens, right? It opens like inward for like a split second, and then it closes back because the door gets closed again. And then Jeff Bezos comes back up with his little special key to unlock it. It's like, what the fuck? So the whole thing, people were saying that it was staged and, just like the moon landing. So I don't know. We'll see.
There again goes a man saving a woman.
I saw like this one video where people were like debunking it that they actually went up to space and stuff like that because they're saying that the capsule door opened inward.
Yeah.
And when you're out in space and stuff, the pressure's pushing towards you, so it doesn't make sense to have a door that pushes in because it'll just pop in.
Yeah.
I don't know. And supposedly the spacecraft is supposed to have the latch from the outside. They never had the latch on the inside. So for somebody to open it from the inside was, I guess they're saying it's fake.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I don't know. And then I saw another picture, like it's a different angle, where like you can see through one of the windows and there's like this hand, but it's got like the hand's weird because it's got like two black dots like right here and it looks like a mannequin hand. So they're all like, what the, what I'm saying? I don't know. I didn't dig deep into it because I was just kind of like, that's weird.
One of the girls had like a lot of plastic surgery done. So
there you go.
Probably her.
She was a mannequin.
Sorry.
She was probably about 80% plastic, that hand.
She got her knuckles
done.
Yeah.
You know what somebody said? Y'all ever seen Happy Gilmore? Right? Where the dude's got the fake hand where it keeps getting eaten and shit. Somebody said it looks like that dude's hand. No, but yeah, man. We had a couple other topics that we want to talk about. One of them being, we might end up, that's going to be the main topic here, but double standards in today's society, in the world, and everything that's going on around us and stuff. We were actually right before we started recording, before we were waiting on you, we were watching the case of a teacher is getting in trouble. She's gonna go to jail.
Yeah. I didn't even catch the name of the person or like what school it came from, but yeah, it was a younger teacher with, I think that got involved with the 16-year-old. And
yeah,
I guess supposedly at one point she claimed that the kid had snatched her phone and exchanged text messages between her phone and his phone. And the mom caught that. Yeah. And I guess that's where
things just kind of took a turn and went crazy. But I actually saw that article before it like blew up. I had seen it on Snapchat. And there was like a small little article on Snapchat. I'm like, what's going? Because I had seen a couple. I mean, there's different. I mean,
there's
crazy stuff going on.
There's a lot of cases, and I think recently there's actually been like quite a bit that have
Yeah, man. Like I don't know. They're
I think one just happened in Indiana
yeah,
recently, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. I think I heard about that too. But nah, yeah, it's crazy how that works out.
Do you think it would have been bigger news? Because I don't think I heard about the one you got. I rarely hear about cases where it's women. Do you think it would have been bigger news if it was a male teacher?
100%.
Yeah.
I think so for sure. I think just like what we were saying, double standards for men and women are just crazy.
Yeah, because like I said again, it feels kind of weird to say it, but being as a 16-year-old kid, going back over there, like with your buddies,
yo, I mean,
like,
in high school.
I know some of you guys are guilty there.
That teacher. Hey, what? No.
Yeah, I mean, you're growing up. I mean, you got hormones and stuff going around and stuff like that. You see an attractive lady, whether she's, like I said, a year older than you, a couple years, or maybe a few years older, and you're like, oh, I find her attractive.
Yeah.
And maybe in your little horny mind, you're like, you know what? Maybe if I had the chance, I would. So coming, I guess, around that, like, with your homies, you're always kicking and talking. Yeah, just talking crap.
Would you?
Yeah.
You ain't even got to ask the whole question.
Yeah, let's say you're in high school, and let's say you're like, damn, I banged the teacher.
Oh,
Really
bro.
praised for it, man.
Yeah,
Bro.
praise. You'd be like a god. You'd be like a king to them.
Bro, for real, how was it?
And let's
It's
say
messed up. It's messed up
let's
because
say
we never thought about
a group of girls do it.
Yeah.
They might talk between each other. It's like, no way, you really did that, this and that. But the moment it goes out
Oh,
and it goes
dude,
public,
it's over.
oh yeah,
Even if
two
it's,
different types of chaos is
even
gonna.
if it's fucking not true, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's serious shit.
Two different types of chaos is gonna go down. The female teacher, obviously, she's gonna lose her job, probably get locked up. But the severity of the punishment that she's gonna get is not gonna be anywhere close to the male teacher being involved with a female student.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like neither of the things should be happening.
No.
But I mean, I will tell you shit. When I was in high school, it was like 2 or 3 teachers. That I was like, yo, they cute. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's taken as serious whenever it's the female teacher doing it, because there's a whole skit about it in SNL where they joke about how a female teacher got involved with one of her students, and the judge like daps up the student. He's like, oh, my man. But like they did that same skit and reverse the roles. Everybody would be looking at SNL like, hey, yo.
Yeah, no, like 100%. Like it's crazy that it's like that, but
it's rape.
Yeah,
I mean, both are wrong.
Yeah, both
are wrong.
They're
Sure.
both.
Yeah.
like they're both equally wrong, like at the same severity and level. It's just people just see it completely different, because in this case, like I said, you're a guy that got involved with a female teacher that's older than you, and like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Shit. And the other way, you're like I said, a female student that got involved with the male teacher. Now this guy is woo, like.
Now let's get into this. Let's say you graduate high school. You're 18, 19, 20 years old. You bump into the teacher at a like a nice little elegant bar somewhere, and you're like, yo, you remember me?
Okay.
It's not illegal, but it's weird.
Yeah. But it's even weirder if you guys did initiate some sort of connection prior to that. Now, if it kicks off after that and there's nothing that led before that, then okay.
Yeah, that's another thing we can dig deep into, like, because there's, how people, I saw a discussion, it was on Facebook the other day, but it was like the age gap between, so a man, right? Let's say a man, he's 30, 34, 35 years old, dating a girl that's 18, 19. Is that considered, how would you say it, for monetization purposes on YouTube? Is that Fido?
Because I've been seeing I've actually seen a Facebook status that just recently a lot of people have been sharing about people that they're saying people in their 30s or about to be 30 or that are messing with 18, 19-year-olds, how that behavior is weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the age gap there,
but think about it this way. I just thought about this. Okay, let's just say, right, because in school, right, with the teachers and all that stuff, you're 15, 16 years old. Your teacher's obviously I mean, there's young teachers sometimes. Like
there's some that kick off their career like 22, 23 or something like that.
But then there's 30-year-old teachers, right? The whole thing gets reversed after school now.
Yeah.
Now you got females, because there will be some younger females that want older men. They're into older men.
Absolutely.
They're no longer into the whole, six packs and good physique and athletic.
Dad
they
bods.
want dad bods. Apparently, that's what there was a I don't know if it was a study, but there was this poll that came out a while ago. I can't do my sources because we don't do that much research, but I saw
Empty
it somewhere.
chair.
But apparently people, some females are saying that they prefer the dad bod over the, chiseled abs and fucking six packs and shit and all that. So I don't know. That's why I let myself go, I'm good. My girl likes my dad bod. I'm a dad, so it's all good.
But that's what I was going to say. Again, like I said, talking about, like I said, those 18, 19-year-olds, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's definitely, like I said, weird behavioral acting and stuff like that. Again, if it's something that you engaged with this person before them turning of legal age, but let's say you do meet the person, let's say somewhere outside, and like I said, sometimes maybe the question of how old are you might not come up because maybe you give off like a older, more mature person.
More mature, yeah.
So, and sometimes you're just assuming this person's all right. They might be mid-20s or something like that. Because I've met people like that they give off like older energy and they're more mature. Like myself, I've always been mature, and where I'm working now, I've been there for a while, and customers have told me, "Oh, how long have you been here?" When I first started, I've only been here for a year. Oh, how old are you? 21.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay, you give off like you're like in your mid-20s or later, like you have a lot of experience, the way you come for yourself and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it's completely different in that case.
I never thought about it the way you said it earlier. You're like, if you, let's say, met up with a teacher after school, like when you didn't interact with them in school, it's like, I'd go up to the teacher and be like, "Hey, I was your student aide. What's up? I'll buy you a shot because of that. You made me pass that class."
Have you guys ever met a teacher outside of school?
It's weird. I met, like, what you mean, like met or just saw them?
Or like saw them? Or
I remember when I was in school, I'd see them. I'd be like, "Holy shit," you know what I'm saying? I'd go up and say, "What's up?" But it was never no weird kind of thing. But as far as like now, I don't think I've met like a college teacher. That's normal.
I've had a couple of my teachers come to my work.
For real?
Yeah.
And how's that like?
Oh my God, how you doing? Like, well, I'm here.
I'm halfway
thanks
successful.
to you.
I seen one of my. I think I went to the store to somewhere in J-Town, and one of my teachers, I think my English teacher, dude was walking out with his family, and I was like, "Hey." No, like I was cool with him because my sophomore year, it was his first year being a teacher. And like I said, at the time he was like 22, 23.
Oh shit, he was young.
So he's like young. And he was like big into like Marvel and stuff. And like I said, me growing up, I'm big into that stuff. And so he got along with everybody. Like I said, his name's Mr. Quillen. Yeah. And I always knew his first name.
Shout out Mr. Quillen.
But he was always cool with everybody because like I said, we're all 16, 17. Mm-hmm. He's 22. You're talking about 4 or 5 years age difference there. And like I said, we always knew his first name. So like I said, when I seen him, I was like, fuck, do I call him by his first name or do I call him what I used to call him by his last name in school? So like I said, that's when it felt weird because I was like, well, I'm not in school no more. So I was like, why do I have to call you Mr. Quillen? But literally the moment we saw face to face, I was like, Mr. Quillen.
Yeah.
Instead of calling him by his first name.
Is that a thing you're supposed to do? Like outside of school, can you call them their first name?
I don't know. I feel like it's a respect. I don't know.
And I don't think I really called him like Mr. It was always just Quillen by his last name.
Is it frowned upon to be friends with your ex-teachers? So like if you're that close in age?
Like, can you hang out with your teacher after school?
Yeah, can you hang out
after school? If you're in school?
Yeah. So
that's weird.
Let's say you met him after you graduated, and then y'all just became cool after that. Y'all became friends.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what if you dated him?
Whoa, no. See, now there's another double
That's
standard
weird, right?
thing. Yes. Because now that kind of goes back to the question that I said earlier. Now, did you meet this person before they were of legal age? Because in that case, then people in society, like outside, are going to see it as they groomed you.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was gonna touch on too. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it's always frowned upon to do that.
Yeah,
yeah, because you were definitely looking at them some way before that.
For sure.
You know, it's funny. It's crazy because it's always it's a weird thing in society, but people have talked about this shit, like the freaky uncle and shit. Bro, it's fucking crazy, dude. But yeah, it's that same thing. Like you said, though, like if they see you, if they known you when you were younger and then going into older age, hanging out with each other and all that stuff, no way, bro.
Yeah, that's like what we talking about, like the teachers messing with the students. What's that Adam Sandler movie?
Where he got his teacher pregnant.
Yeah,
when he was in 8th grade.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, he did it.
God, what was the name?
Fuck.
He becomes like a deadbeat dad too.
He got his teacher pregnant in 8th grade.
You haven't seen that movie?
I think I have, but I don't remember
She ends up going to prison. He grows up, and the kid is like adopted into like a family, like a really like.
Is it Daddy and Me?
No,
that title sounds weird.
You meant Marley and Me?
No. Did you mean Marley and Me? No, it was that one where he was in one of them where he was peeing on him and the kid were peeing on a wall. The picture of the movie was that.
No, this is
That's my boy.
That's my boy. Yeah.
That's
so this was
picture.
after.
That's the one I meant. I don't know why I said Daddy and Me, but that's the one that I meant.
He meets his son, and his son's about to get married, but the girl he's marrying is having an affair with her brother.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, bro ends up showing up at their house, and he's like, "Oh no, that's my friend for something." He's like, "Oh yeah, here, stay here. We got a room for you, and this and that." He didn't want to accept that was his dad. But yeah, like I said, in that movie, like I said, they portrayed when he was a kid. Good shit.
Dabbing up, calling him a player.
Yeah, and they would do it everywhere in the school. And I think where they got caught in the movie was on the stage at the auditorium. When I think they had like a big old like rally or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw it. It's ringing a bell now. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that shit. It's crazy because in school, whenever and that's another double standard subject that we can touch on. When you're in school or even in general, like as a guy growing up, when you're, you have a bunch of girls and, you're going here left and right, doing things, you're a player. But for women, it's different. It's like, it's perceived as why is that? Why is that a thing? Why do you think?
I think it's because of past things. Like it goes all the way back to like the ancient times, to where like you
as a king or something.
Yeah, women only. Women are only supposed to be one man for the rest of their lives, but these men,
because there are some cultures that are also known to have multiple wives.
Yeah,
but the wife is only allowed to have like
polygamy. Polygamous.
Mm-hmm.
Mana is the one you only do one. I think monogamous.
What were you gonna say?
Whoa! He's gonna cut that one little.
I'm gonna let her
monogamous.
Roll.
I think and
Monogamous,
polygamous or something like that. But yeah, I agree with you. That makes sense. I guess
That's
men back
answer.
then were very very well, a good intellectual and. It'll take forever, dog. Shit.
Bro, Paul. He was buff.
Well, it's because women used to not have like rights and stuff, so they would, and men were like free to do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. So that's why it was frowned upon whenever a woman, and it kind of just we're kind of getting away from that a little bit more.
So you think is that probably like one of the reasons why double standards is a thing now?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Even more serious, or what do you mean?
Well, I mean,
why?
like, as far as like, okay, the other thing we wrote on there. A married woman that's a stay-at-home mom, she's a homemaker. Mm-hmm. But a married man who's a stay-at-home dad would be perceived as, from people outside, as a bum or a lazy person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still because, like, even the cavemen, the men were the hunters, the gatherers, the protectors, and the women were the
nurturers.
They would care after the children and stuff like that. And now, obviously, women are taking a lot more traditional men roles. So the roles are switching now, but people still are in that mindset where it's not supposed to be that way, and that's why it's frowned upon and looked bad upon.
And there's the other thing, was the things that males get appraised for what women are
already doing.
Already doing. Like when it comes to, like, for example, like parents taking your kid out to the park, looking out for them, cooking for them, taking them for a walk. The mom does that. Oh yeah, she's supposed to do that.
Yeah. I feel
and like I said, if you take your kid to the park, you're alone, and it's a whole bunch of moms over there. They're looking at the dad.
He must be a great dad.
He must be a great dad. He's a great dad. Or did he kidnap that kid?
Right. There's those concerns.
Nah, I feel you. I mean, me being a father, of course, I do feel that way. But then there's also sometimes, like, there's some women that when they're not given the choice or the power to do some of those things, they feel a little bit kind of like, I don't know if it's a now thing or how society is starting to, change. But they sometimes feel like they're useless when they're not doing those kind of things, like when they're not going to work or when they're not, doing this and that. But I don't know. I mean, that's how, like, me and my lady, we try to do, like, I think we even touched about this on, like, a couple of episodes ago, like machistas and stuff like that, being a manly man and, her being a womanly woman or whatever. One of the biggest things is, I was talking to one of my cousins. He was, it's crazy because he posted it on Instagram, and I was just talking to him a while ago, but basically the duties of a woman and how it's what is the whole purpose of a woman, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to act, how they're supposed to look. I was like, it took me off guard because, it's like, okay, he's my cousin. I grew up with him, and I never thought that it would be something like that, how he would perceive women like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I might ask him if he wants to be on here one day. We'll see to get his views. But I mean, when my girl saw it, it wasn't more so she was offended, but it was like, how would that come from a man that, like, why would that be up to a man's decision, how I should look, how I should feel, how I should act, how I should, be, whether I'm a mom or just a single woman, But yeah, we talked about that too. And it was like, I told her, I was like, look, like, obviously I'm still kind of like, I'm going to be a manly man to where I do everything that I can to, keep, the essentials, keep a roof over my family's head, provide for, food and all that stuff. But then there's sometimes where, if we go to work and, you get home, you don't have the energy, sometimes you got to look for that energy especially when you have kids, you got to look for the energy to play with them and stuff. But that's something like, if your lady was at home most of the time, maybe, that's something she could have done, put the kid to sleep. So when you get home, you get there, turn on some TV, I don't know.
So I think the newer generations are kind of breaking away from
those standards and
traditions and standards. Yeah. So the standards that women were held to by the previous generations are a lot lower than what the newer generations are holding, or the standards the new generation is holding the women to. Because now, if you look at like dating shows and stuff like that, have you seen the one where they pop a balloon and stuff?
Bruh, I swear, those
like every time it's a dude choosing the woman, they're asking them like, well, what's your ideal woman? Yeah. Like, I don't want and it's the same answer every single time. Like, I don't want a homemaker. I want a woman that has her own ambition, her own.
Wait, this is the guy saying that for the woman?
Yeah, the guy saying that. And every woman on there has like some sort of ambition or some sort of dream that they want to chase and stuff like that. Even when a woman is like choosing the men, she's like, well, I have my own ambitions and my own dreams that I want to accomplish. So the new generation of women are getting held to a much higher standard. So I feel like those roles are kind of just dying, where men and women are supposed to do something. And
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Because there's some people who, like I was telling you, like like Catholic or churchy traditions. They don't want that for women. Like if you read like dig deep into like the old stuff back then, like that's how women are supposed to be. They're supposed to be submissive to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now, as you were saying, even in the like they're not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which, in my opinion, I don't think it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing.
The way I look at it is, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her to be a lazy like home.
Damn,
That's bad. No. Like
Bro said, I wouldn't want her to be a lazy homemaker.
Well, somebody that expects to be cared or nurtured for, protected for, depending on somebody else. I'd want her to have her own ambitions and her own dreams. I'd hold her. I'd hold her to the same standards as I would hold my son.
Why do I feel like Eric felt like he was about to get canceled and he completed that word? bro literally looked at me like, fuck. Bro realized, oh shit.
Bro, try to cancel me just now.
No, you put yourself in that track. You caught yourself though. You caught himself.
You definitely did. You definitely did.
Shit. No. Yeah, no, that I would feel the same way. Like now, I mean, I want to. If I had a daughter, same situation, like, I would want her to be able to do her own thing, not to fully it's nice sometimes, or it would be nice, that some like, just like a traditional thing when you're meeting, I'm not, in the future, but like if you're meeting your daughter's boyfriend or future husband, whatever, you want to meet who they are, how they're going to treat your daughter. 'Cause, you pour all this love and you treat your lover with you treat your daughter with respect, and you should try to show her how she should want whoever that man is going to be to treat her. But then also be like, okay, well, you do your own things. Like me as your father, I'm going to just try to guide you the best way that I can. But also I want you to make decisions for yourself and make sure that you don't 100% depend on just a guy. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not saying like being a homemaker is bad.
Bro, let's hold on. Let's go back.
What if you got it made?
It's still a very important job, Like if my daughter decides, I
he
found
makes
a
$1 million a year.
Who's rich?
I
want you to be the best mother that you could possibly be.
Yeah.
He put my name in the business. That means technically I'm a business owner too. Right? I'm getting paid. No, do yourself. Yeah, do yourself.
Hey, bro, if my daughter got herself a rich ass fucking dude, I'm like, can you ask him if I gotta work too? Get me, bro. Nah, but yeah, one other double standard topic we got up here that we want to touch on is like sports, women and men in sports. I know that's still, it started becoming a huge thing. It popped off.
A lot more recently, just because
Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark.
Well, there's a lot more talent coming into the women's sports side. I mean, on the male side, it's always been dominant compared to female, but recently there's been a larger increase in popularity for women's sports. Whether it's in soccer, in soccer, the U.S. has been pretty dominant.
Yeah.
When it's come to
they've won World Cups.
Yeah. Now basketball is becoming something even bigger than it is now. Arenas are being filled up, but it's mainly because there's actually one player that's increased the popularity. But there's
people want to see. Yeah.
There's other female players there that are trying to say they're also part of the reasoning. Which it's realistically, they're a small percentage of that. But when
we know
this player, Caitlin Clark,
I don't even watch. I don't even really watch female basketball, but I know
you know who that name is.
But I know who that name is. And when I do look up the highlights, because I don't watch the games, because I'm like high school, whatever. Nah, but like I don't watch it. But when I watch the highlights, she's cold, bro. Like you can even whenever the tournament was going on, I think and people were like she got to I think she lost in the final?
The final, yeah, I think it was.
Even then, you could tell she was pouring her fucking heart out. Like she was doing everything she could for this damn team, and but people wanted to see that shit. People wanted to go and see that.
The way I treat the women and men's sport like income thing, I treat it exactly the same. If you bring in a certain amount of attention to the sport, if you're bringing in a certain amount of income, then you deserve your cut.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the biggest biggest people to speak out against it is the U.S. women's national team, because they want to get paid equal as
I think that's been going on for a while too.
Yeah.
On some of them, I do agree with them because the women's soccer team does sell out stadiums. Mm-hmm. The men's soccer team does not sell out stadiums. They have to bring the Mexican national team to the U.S. to play against them in order to sell out
it's the rivalry they're selling.
A stadium. Yeah. So in that case, yes, pay them. But
illegals versus the illegals.
But they also want to, like for World Cup games and stuff like that, they want to get paid more than the men do. Well, the men's World Cup brings in billions and billions and billions of dollars of revenue,
and it's not USA.
But the percentage that the men get paid is much lower than the percentage the women get paid for their World Cup income. So I think the women get a 20% cut of all profit for the women's FIFA World Cup. The men only get like 7%.
Bro, some of them don't even take the money. They just donate that shit like for half the time because they're making. I mean, probably some of the smaller players, but like some of the bigger players are like, bro, I made that last week.
And it's just not as popular, especially here in the U.S. It's a sport that's growing. But if you go to Europe, like the Barcelona women's, they sell out 100,000 seat stadiums every game. They're getting paid.
Yeah. There's women supporting women, man. I mean, there's only, so
it's the U.S. that the women are not supporting women.
Right. That's
you ladies should be the one filling up these basketball stadiums here.
Yeah.
You guys are the reason Angel Reese was actually trying to, I guess, protest and boycott that she didn't want to play the season till she got a bigger pay cut in the WNBA.
You ain't got to play. We going to miss out on some layups.
And actually, the NBA is actually who supports the WNBA. Mm-hmm. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they take an annual loss for helping the WNBA stay active.
Stay up and running.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Caitlin Clark, the biggest name right now in the WNBA, I think her annual salary is $70,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they get paid.
No, but
they're not. But like her salary.
But that's what I'm saying. The WNBA salary compared to a rookie contract, even like the smallest rookie.
I saw that
in the NBA.
Comparison of that. That's crazy.
They're probably touching $1 million.
Yeah,
or close to $1 million.
For sure.
Yeah. Even even somebody that's even signed like, let's say like on a 2-way contract, which they're limited to how many games they can play, and there's more regulations to that. They're probably not touching $1 million, but it's hell of a lot more than $70,000.
Bands, yeah.
And I think, like you said, obviously that kind of stirs the pot. But to a player like Caitlin Clark, she don't give a damn. She got money coming in.
It's the endorsements.
Yeah,
endorsements.
That's because people want to see it. People want to see her. People. It's what sells. You know what I'm saying? It's just like social media. I mean, she ain't even really active like that on social media.
Like we're not demanding we get paid the same as Joe Rogan.
Right. We know where we're at. You know, we know how many people we got tuning in to watch us.
We do want the views though.
Yeah. Help us out. Like.
But yeah, man, that's like I said, that's just how everything is. But the way I've seen it, and I think I've told people whenever I've kind of talked about this outside of here, with people that are basketball gurus or just in general, Caitlin Clark is what's going to be the change for women's basketball, for the women's sport.
It could be the change.
What she's going to be the start. What's going to kick off everything else. If they're going to see more growth in this league, at least just for female sports, like let's say here in the U.S., she's what's going to start bringing in more eyes into those with their talent. Everybody wanted to see her. Because as we keep going, there's going to be more and more talent coming in, and more people are going to be watching them get into the pros.
Well, they're exposed to it now.
Yeah. Like I said, this effect that Caitlin Clark has, the NBA's already had it in the past.
Yeah.
They're just...
So it's like for example, like what you're saying too is like, how whenever basketball players like the younger players are playing, even like we're keeping these people on track from when they're in high school. You know what I'm saying? We're like watching them from their high school years up until their college years, and then up until they get signed and drafted into the NBA. You're following these people all the way along. I think there was with the females, it happened the same way, but there just wasn't as much attention. People didn't really care as much because it's like, it's a girl. They're not going to play as aggressive or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But now they're seeing based on Caitlin Clark, how skillful they can be starting from high school to college.
And there's some crazy talent.
WNBA. So,
It's a long journey to get up to. It's not going to be instant.
No, because they also got to they got to stay on that path too. Because there's also a lot of things that come. It's a little bit easier, I guess, for a guy, because there's things, I guess, on the female side you get with a dude. What if you get pregnant?
Yeah,
that's also an obstacle that you have to overcome, or it gets in the way that. Or males, I hate to say,
as long as you're in the WNBA, you can't have a boyfriend.
I want to make your way up there.
You cannot have sexual relations. Because imagine, bro, signing a huge contract, you about to get paid, and
or let's say they do got your eyes on you because, like I said, you're showing like being a huge prospect in the future to go to college. You got big colleges looking at you, and then hopefully a pathway to the pros. And then let's say you get pregnant. You have a kid.
Ya paró la verga, ya se fue todo. You ain't gonna be back, bro. Your feet gonna be bigger. That's just what happens when you have a baby. Your feet get bigger. It takes some work to get back to the same body, but you creating life in there.
Yeah, but it's a tough battle. It's but like I said, that's my thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me know if you guys agree, disagree, or fuck. What's your insight?
Yeah, tell us if we're stupid and we're dumb. We think it dumb.
I think it'll even out at some point, maybe later.
You think?
On. Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
It's just so new. Women's sports is.
But that's what I'm saying. I was like that. That's like what I was saying. I was like, like this basketball in this case, the Caitlin Clark thing is what's going to kick off everything else. And like I said, this is what's getting their eyes on them as time goes on. Yeah, it's going to get there. Balancing out, it'll take a while.
Yeah, how long has the NBA been around?
It's fucking years.
Well, how long has basketball as a professional sport been around?
Well, it used to be called the ABA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think it's what it was. Then it became the NBA, but that's been around since... Fuck. When did the NBA merger? I guess that's when... But maybe prior... But prior to that, there was no talent. It was just people just...
And nobody watched that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Now
it's when my...
Angel Reese dunks.
No, the moment she learns how to do a layup.
Oh.
No, but like women's sports is just so new in general because there hasn't been that many organizations, and it's just gonna take a while for them to reach.
Women wasn't playing basketball back then. That's why
They was cooking.
Right. But I mean, I guarantee you, if you look at their pay in a graph, it's doing nothing but going up.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not going down. So it'll get to the level that it needs to be. Unfortunately, it's not going to be this generation.
But you guys are going in the right path.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a foundation.
Hopefully by 2030 they're getting
sure.
paid 100, at least 6 figures. Huh?
You parents that are randomly letting your little 2-3 year olds watch this podcast episode because they're just touching everything. They'll probably be the ones that will see that. Not you guys.
That's gonna be crazy as shit. Y'all want to go ahead and wrap it up? Or? I don't know. It's a short little episode. It was fun. But yeah, we have a guest coming. Next week?
Yeah.
Is it this week coming up?
Yeah. Sunday. We got a local kid. I think he's been making some noise. Yeah, he's got some clout. That's what your kids say.
Now get us some clout.
But yeah, we're excited to have him on here. Yeah, to know him. I don't do it. Do y'all know him personally?
Not personally. I've came across him a few times.
If you're one of the lucky ones to get hit, DM by the ChalkRoom podcast, let us know. Are you any three of us? Because we are looking for some guests.
Now,
like I said, just hit us up.
On here, yeah.
If you cancel on us, you've lost your one and only.
Last minute cancel. Or if you let us know like a day before.
Give us 24 hours in advance.
We got to sometimes do a little bit of we got to set
because
these
we
up.
had to scratch everything up that we had for today's episode and come up with what you guys heard here. And hopefully it was good and entertaining for you guys.
Yep.
Which I think you guys did because I think we had fun talking about it.
But yeah, don't forget to follow, subscribe us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah.
Do we have a Twitter?
No, we never set that up.
We don't need a Twitter.
Elon, bro.
That's too much work. Dude, I'm running everything. You want me to run another app?
Alrighty, guys. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Deuce.
Happy Easter, because we forgot to mention it was Easter. Happy Easter.
Fuck that.
The episode will be back on Wednesday, but there we go. See y'all.
Easter eggs are smaller now.